Alright, hey everybody. Today I'm just gonna show you guys how to get a fire going with just my knife. We made a short clip on our YouTube channel, and we also shared that video onto our Facebook page. And I feel like it wasn't thorough enough of what I did and how I made the fire and got it going and all that jazz. I have a lot of things prepped in my backpack that I always take with us, no matter where we're going, even if we're just coming sliding. You know, today we're in the back of LK school. Beautiful day today. This morning it was very cold. This morning it was minus 27. It was very chilly, but over there you can see the steam still coming from the past fire from earlier. Yeah, so Mr. Grease wanted it a little closer to the sliding hill this time, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it right here in this spot. So you can see on this spot, you see the grass is visible, right? And then that's the thing, is like there's still a lot of snow here, and yes, the ground is icy, and yes, it's going to be wet, but the thing is when you get your fire going, after a while it's going to start to melt away everything, and the more the fire is going, it's going to eventually start to dry the ground and dry the place around it, and that's what we want. Okay, so what I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to go for a quick run into the bush. I'm going to grab some little spruce boughs and stuff like that, and I'll be right back. 5 seconds.
We are rolling again.
We're back at it about 30 seconds later. I know I said 5, but Indian time. That's how it goes around here. Alright, so we got some dry pine, spruce boughs that are all dried up. You can see that all the needles have fell off already. You can still see some of the pine cones. Yeah, so then you want some dry stuff to start it off. And this is what's going to help get our fire going real quick. Alright. So, just to show you guys how fast I can get a fire going, I want to try to speed things up here. And as you can see in my backpack, I have some dry stuff here. Every time I'm working on walking sticks or whatever it may be, I always make sure I keep the shavings. So that's some dry stuff right there. Right here I have some dryer lint. So on this dryer lint I put 70% isopropyl alcohol on there, so that way it would help it light up a lot more better, a lot more faster, just by a few flicks of my knife. So, and then we go and grab my knife. And that's the thing too, is I have some char cloth, I have some toilet paper, I have a bunch of dry stuff in here, and we have that stuff that Mr. Grease made, that cotton and Vaseline and the wax, that stuff. But I'm just gonna show you guys with the dryer lint and the dry goods I have there. So, I'm gonna grab my knife. As you can see, I got a buck knife here that I got from Canadian Tire. You can see it has a ferrocerium rod. And then the thing is that when I first got it, it was very hard for me to get used to it because I was always going like this. But the thing is you got to get right in the corner here. And then that's what I'm going to show you guys, is when I get right in the corner here, you're going to see a lot more sparks and stuff like that. So, and I notice I always say, and stuff like that, and things like that. And that's the thing, but that's just how I talk. So, I hope you guys don't mind when I say it 1,000 times all the time. Some of the kids sometimes catch me off guard and they'll be like repeating after me. Hey, they'll be like mocking me almost, but it's funny. It's funny. So we're just gonna put a bunch of that dryer lint there, a bunch of that dry goods. We're gonna get my knife. We're gonna get the ferrocerium rod. And the thing is you want to get a lot of that ferrocerium to fall onto the dryer lint and onto that dry goods, because then that's what's going to help it spark up a lot more faster. See, we almost had it there. First one. You can hear that ferrocerium just firing up in there. My thing's getting a lot more thinner, so it's becoming a lot more harder to do. So my plan is to get a longer ferrocerium rod, so that way when I'm doing this, it makes it more easier for me. There we go. You see that? You can see that alcohol just burning there. See? And it takes patience, and that's what I always try and show the kids, right? Yes, I'm getting better at it, but I ain't a pro, right? Like, I can't get it going in 5 seconds. So, you know what? I'm gonna grab some of my toilet paper here, just so that way we can get a little better flame onto that when I get that thing going there. Sorry it's taking a while, guys, but that's the thing, right? Like I said, it's always gonna take time, especially if you're lost in the wild. you gotta be very patient. We're very lucky that it's no wind right now. Like if it was windy, we'd have to help each other in keeping it going and stuff. Okay, there we go. It's kind of going. That's the thing about the alcohol. You can't really see it when it's burning. Didn't go yet. That big fail. Hold on. See, there we go. We finally got it going. So, and that's the thing is when you have that little flame going, you got to be very careful with it. So, you know, sometimes it takes 1,000 strikes to get that fire going. Sometimes it takes less time. Sometimes it takes more time. But that's the thing. Everything takes time in life. See, and that's the thing too. Is like sometimes when I have it like that, what I do is my jacket's all the way over there. Hold on. A lot of times when it's giving me a hard time, sometimes I have hand sanitizer on me. Hand sanitizer is very flammable. Really get a good spark on there. See, there we go. Hand sanitizer came in clutch again. We got some flames going. So then that's when you start grabbing a bunch of your dried twigs, right? And you start adding them in. And you start getting those burning. You grab some of your dry kindling, get some of that stuff burning as well. It's very important not to smother it right away. Very important. Because then when you smother it, there's a high chance you can just take your fire out. And like I said, patience is very important when it comes to the fire. Very important. So, and then as soon as you have some of those little things burnt, that's when you can go to your dry kindling again. You can start dropping it slowly. Oh, there's some birch. We have some birch in there. See, there we go. Now it's starting to burn. See, then we have all that dry stuff there. And we'll grab some more of this stuff here. Throw it up on top of there. That's the thing. Sometimes you have the hardest time ever. And that's the thing is like, say if we were with the kids, the skidoo broke down, the boat broke down, you know, we're far away from home. I would do anything and everything to get a fire going for them just so that they can have that warmth. No matter how long it takes, you know, sometimes using that little ferro rod, it kind of hurts your hand and stuff. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as the kids are warm and as long as we can dry their boots or whatever it may be, that's all it's about. See, and then we start adding again. And that's why this stuff is so important, right? Like I said, we don't want to smother it right away. So we hold it above until it starts getting a good burn on it. Right? And remember what I said about splitting these with my knife, right? You can grab my knife and we can start making well, they're all dry, but these are all dead logs. And you just start splitting it. Start splitting it like that. So that way you're not using your hatchet or your axe and then you're having to hit it every time and move your hand, right? Because then if I have an axe and I'm like, right, I'm always having to go like that. With a knife like this, you can just make it as thin as you want. Go down, go again. Down again, right? You want lots of that stuff because then that's what's going to get your fire going. And then as soon as you get all those little things going, then that's when you can start throwing in the bigger logs and the bigger stuff. And then if you want a really big fire, you can start throwing whole logs in there. It's just in time for the kids.
Here they come.
So that's what I mean. Like, you know, sometimes, like obviously in a higher situation, right? I'd be smart and I'd use my lighter because obviously I do have a lighter and I do have matches. But it's very important to show the kids this type of way of making a fire to where you don't have a matches and you don't have a lighter or a propane or whatever it may be. See, and then we have this little kindling going. Hey guys, just on time. I just finished making your guys' fire.
We are the flight.
I almost failed. They're over there.
Over where?
Over there.
I see them. Riley, can you grab one? I don't want to share with everybody.
We'll make a little teepee.
Yeah, look at that.
So as soon as all that starts to burn, it's gonna fall. It's gonna all collapse on each other.
We gotta pray first, and we need to pray for Mother Nature.
Yeah, it took a long time to get this fire going, boys and girls. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. To make this whole fire, I thought it was gonna be like quick, fast, and stuff like that. But the thing is the dryer lint is still kind of damp and stuff. So it took me quite a while to get it going. But the matter is that we got it going. Now, after you guys are done sliding, you guys can come and sit by the fire, and you guys can have that warmth.
Whoa.
Of course, no slide there if you want to use it. That one has rope, you're lucky.
Let's get it. Fire!
Bring some of it this way.
There's little ones over there.
See, it's not burning much on this side, so I'm going to burn some of this. I'm just going to put that right there.
Longer than expected change
Yeah.
here. He showed up.
Oh, nice.
Left in this morning.
I just, it has we put it in the sun.
That's why it's hard to go through. Alright, so we finally have the fire going. We finally piled the logs all around. And a lot of times it'll burn slow, but the thing is, well, if you want to speed up the process, all the fire needs is oxygen, right? So you got something like this. It could be a board, be a little sleigh like this, and all what you want to do is you just want to just blow some hot air on there. The more you do that, the or the fire is going to burn. And that's the thing, if you need warmth fast and then there's kids all around and they're cold, that's what you want to do. You want to get that warmth all around faster, so then you burn it, you just burn and burn. A lot of times you can go to the bottom. Right? But like I said, it's better with the board. And then if it's a windy day as well, the wind will help us a bunch. So that's how you speed up the fire process.
And that's the thing, you always want it to burn and burn and burn. We want to send up a thick cloud of smoke to whoever. Say if there's a helicopter in the distance and we hear it, we're like, oh, okay, throw it in! Throw it in! Right? We throw it in. And now we're like, we're over here! We're over here!
You guys look like cavemen.
Right? And that's the thing, a helicopter, or say for example, somebody had left a lake or even ocean house, if you don't want to see that. When they see that, they're like, oh, can't see it all, over there, let's go! Right? And then they can either come on a helicopter to save us all, or they can come on a group with snowmobiles. Right? And that's the thing, that's why I say you always want lots. You see how fast that smoke disappears? Yeah. You always want to keep lots on you. Very important, boys and girls, okay? Because like I said, that's the only way we'll be found. But as long as we have fire and as long as we have the right wood to keep that fire going, we'll be alright, okay? Because as long as you have warmth, you can cook your food, you can thaw out your water bottles, boil water if you need to, all that different type of stuff. Without a fire, you won't survive. And that's why the fire is most important, right? A lot of times when you're going out traveling, people will say, what's the most important thing? And everybody's like, food! Food! Matches, a lighter, all that stuff, right? But the thing is, right, matches are just matches and a lighter is just a lighter unless you know how to make a fire the right way. Okay, and it's very important that you always have dry wood and dry materials. Alright? And that's today's lesson.
Slide time!
Slide time!
Wait a